How about you, Phil Miller? You got that radio on?
I do.
Well, I happened to catch up with you as you were getting ready to leave the 2015 Mid-America Trucking Show. You were displaying over at the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship. Pretty happy to see you there as you're heading out. Do you mind talking on the CB just a bit?
Happy to.
Well, let's start with what the power unit is.
It's a 2010 Peterbilt 389 or 300 wheelbase, 325 rear ends, 18 speed, C15 Cat, stock 600 that was worked over by PDI there in Utah a little and runs real well.
Tell me about the trailer.
This is a 2015 Wilson. It's 48 foot. California, got to have 48 footers to get in there, I guess. So we just had it painted. I picked it up last 4th of July, I guess, in South Dakota.
What do you do with it other than show with it?
The showing part's just something I enjoy doing, I guess, but it works hauling livestock every week all over the West, mostly Southwest, Arizona, California, Nevada. I do run out to Texas and Oklahoma some, but...
You say out there in the West, where's home base for you?
Home base would be northwest of Las Vegas, Nevada, about 100 miles, just out in the middle of the desert. Large dairy there, and that's the majority of our hauling is right off of that dairy, and we just live right about 20 miles from it.
So you say this truck is working all the time. You say every week it's hauling cattle around?
Yeah, we do 130 to 150,000 a year typically on it. It's got 622,000 on it right now, so it works every day.
What's the average type of livestock that you carry?
Well, I haul a few loads of retired cows, I guess, butcher livestock, and a few loads of springers. The springers, the first calf heifer, take them out of California back into the dairy. A few loads of those a week, and we have a couple loads of calves going out every week. It's just a vicious circle, I guess.
How many head of cattle are in some of those loads that you're talking about?
I still load 49,000 pounds. Like a load of 275-pound cattle, we'd load 160 head of those. We have a load of heifers every week that's 115 to 120 head. The old cows are usually about 32 head. Those first calf heifers, springers, they're 36 head.
Is there a season for hauling cattle? Because obviously we got a warm season, we got a cold season.
These guys up north have a hard time, in the winter and that, having boarded their trailers up and everything else. So where we're at in the summertime, that's our hardest season, I guess, is it dealing with the summer where it's 110, 115 degrees out. We're year-round with this dairy hauling. It's week in, week out. Like a week like this, be gone for this show. We had a great time, but we still got to figure out how to get the work done when we get back, for sure.
That should give everyone an idea of what you do with the truck. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. What are some of the custom things that you've done to the truck? Give me a rundown on that.
Well, we started with this truck, and it was this is a stock cream color. The fenders were already this color brown, and we went from there, I guess. One of the first things, I guess, we did to it was change the deck plate. Pickett Custom Trucks did all that. Smoothed the frame out, built a deck plate for me with the hidden toolbox in it. Keep my muck boots and my coveralls for loading cattle and all that in there. We had all the holes made bigger on the wheels and that, and then we airbagged the front end. It had stock air ride, and we changed it from stock air ride to an aftermarket air ride kit. We could put it on the ground a little lower. And here recently, I guess we lost our mind. We pulled the motor and painted the motor to match chromed all the tubing, had a bunch of tubing made and had it chromed.
And even the pinstripe that is on the reverse side of the hood, that's really sharp.
Kind of come up with that idea there at the shop, PDI's shop, and it really turned out good. I was pretty tickled with it.
Tell me about the bumper, the visor, and the stacks. What are you running that way?
Visor come from 4-State here in Joplin. The stacks are Lincoln and the bumper's Lincoln chrome. We have 12 gauge steps on this, 12 gauge drop panels, and 12 gauge bumper lift kit on it. If you come inside the truck, we got rockwood floor in here and a bunch of rockwood stuff.
What do you got for lights there?
Well, on the trailer here we have a mirrored truck light, and about 112 of them on here. And then we got cab lights down the breathers, and we got penny lights all underneath the drop panels. I got American super lights on the back of the cab, and the eye panel, and the rear light bar, bumper, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
10-4, it sure does show off nice at night there.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we like them lit up. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with the way she turned out for sure. Thank you for the compliment.
So how did you get into trucking?
Oh, I was dad trucked, and I just was raised around it. Got in, uncles and that had ranches and livestock, and so we got into that. And Dad never hauled livestock, but I got big into ranching and that. And I've owned cows and leased some ranches and stuff, and then it just kind of all got put together.
Now, if somebody came up to you and they said, Phil, I'm tired of running a flatbed, I think I want to do what you guys do, what would your advice be for them?
I'd probably tell them the best way to get into it would be to find a company they could learn under, a bigger company. That'd probably be the best route, I'm guessing. So they got a good friend to kind of go along with or something, kind of give them pointers.
And I'm going to ask you this because I don't know. If the cattle are in there in the barn or pen or whatever the term may be, please correct me on what that would be. You walk them up a chute and you walk them into a ramp onto the truck, and then they just file in there single file. Give me an insight on that.
Yeah, so we back up to a load and chute, and you know your numbers you need for each compartment for weights and that. You just have ramp that goes up into the top deck and a counterbalance that drops down into the nose and makes another ramp into the nose there, and you just 32 on this trailer. So you want 3 and 3 on your ends and put the rest in your centers, or figure out where you need to be for weight.
Talking to the drivers, and they go in and out of cities, and they're dealing with deliveries not on ranches, so that kind of puts them in a different space than you. But what I do ask them, I ask if they could convey something to a motorist in terms of highway safety. What would you tell them?
I guess I'd just tell them that we're leaving that space between us and them for a reason. It takes us a lot of time to get stopped, and we need all we can get. I probably leave more room than most people. It does get awful frustrating when people keep taking that space away from you.
One of the other interviews we did was with a gentleman that hauled a tanker, and he explained about the momentum that he has to deal with inside of his tank. What are you dealing with in terms of inertia?
Now, I've never pulled a tanker, but I suppose it'd be a lot the same as far as throwing all the livestock to the front end. About the time you're almost stopped, everything hits the front end and throws you forward again. Not only are you worried about getting pushed through something, but knocking cattle down or whatever else. You just try and avoid those kind of stops for sure.
In the case that there are abrupt stops, what could potentially happen with the livestock that's in the trailer?
My biggest worry is just knocking them down and piling them up.
Well, I sure do appreciate you bringing the truck out there to Matt's for everybody to look at it. It was really great getting an up-close and personal look at it, and even being able to do this Rolling CB interview with you.
I appreciate it too. It was sure worth my time. I enjoyed it. I had a heck of a time been hearing about this show forever. Yeah, I'm happy I got to come out.
Well, that's great. Who'd you have out with you?
I had a guy named Brady Jensen out, owner-operator, and pulls for me, and just did a great job at home, but a heck of a job out here cleaning and everything. We had a ball, and another guy named Cody Madsen that just started pulling for us. Just bought his own truck, and anyway, we all just had a great time and sure got the truck cleaned up. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun too.
You walked away with a handful of trophies there. What'd you win?
So we ended up with 3 firsts and 2 seconds in the working class combo, and in individual classes. We showed the truck under a working class combo.
Well, Phil, thanks for letting me ride alongside you and answering the questions about the ride that you got and what you brought out to the truck show. I appreciate it. Have a safe trip back to the house.
You do the same, Chris. Enjoy watching your videos. Had a good time. Thank you.
You got it. We'll see you.